Alright, hello guys. Checking back in for this next video. I'm gonna fill you guys in on the last few weeks. My initial plan of doing one video a week has kind of fallen to the wayside, just because it's so busy with all the travel that I've been doing so far up the East Coast. But I think the cadence of one video every couple of weeks, maybe 2 times a month right now, has been good. Just doing kind of some recaps of the locations that I've been, as well as the things that I've been doing while out here. So the recap for this video, just checking my notes, will be for Noosa, which is where I filmed that last video. So I was just a bit behind, but yeah, Noosa, Rainbow Beach, which will include Gari or Fraser Island, and then also Airlie Beach, which is the Whitsundays and all that fun stuff. So starting on the top, Noosa was really cool. Got some surfing in there, but I did want to touch on the accommodation there. The hostel was I think the best hostel I've stayed in. It was Bounce Noosa, which felt more like a club or resort. The pool was amazing. Rooms were amazing, a lot of space. Didn't feel like I was staying at a hostel compared to the previous ones that I've been staying at. So that was really cool. And then yeah, what I got into while I was in Noosa was first and foremost the Everglades. For my US family and pretty much everyone that probably watches my videos back in the US, I did the Everglades. It is only one of 2 Everglades in the world. And if you guys can answer what the other Everglades is in the comments, go ahead and do that. And I'll give you the answer as well. But so Noosa is one. And then the other Everglades is in Florida as well. So only 2 in the world. But yeah, within the Everglades, got to do some canoeing with the group, as well as some swimming. And the water was like, not a copper red, but like a really, really dark red, which was from the tea tree leaves. So when I would get out, your skin would just feel like silky smooth in your hair. I'm not using any conditioner because I'm living out of a bag, but the hair coming out of the tea tree water was so nice and just felt so soft. And then I learned a fact after swimming was there are possible sharks in there, which would be the bull shark. They can do both saltwater and freshwater. So didn't see the sign until we got out, but the tour guide didn't seem too bothered. So I think we were all okay, but bit of a scare there. But yeah, the Everglades is really cool. Canoeing, doing all that stuff, seeing the sights. Getting to swim that lovely red water was really cool. And then I think the next day after that, I did the round boat hire. And I think the reason that was like pushed so heavily was because the owners of Bounce also own the kind of the rights to the round boat. So they want to push everybody to do that. But I didn't mind at all because it was really fun. Got a group from Bounce and we did the round boats for like 2 hours. I was the captain of the vessel. Had a little 8 horsepower outboard motor on the back. It kind of reminded me of like those bumper boats. If you've ever been to like a water park, you can like spin them really quick. Anyway, we only beached one time on accident, and then the other time was more planned. We were trying to get out and check out kind of this island that was in the middle of the river. But that was really cool. I got some video of that as well. I think that was really it for Noosa. I mean, I did a surf. Me and my buddy Harry went out for a surf. Waves were not really pumping, but we still caught a few. But they were only like knee high, waist high, so it's pretty casual. But anytime surfing's a good time, so really enjoyed that. And then from Noosa, I went to Rainbow Beach, which is more so just the gateway to do Fraser Island, or AKA Gari Island. So I actually ended up having 2 nights in Rainbow before doing the Fraser Island tour. And Rainbow is pretty small, there's not a whole lot to do. So I did a surf one morning with like the sunrise. So we did, our tour guide took us in like a 4x4 to kind of a spot maybe 20 minutes down the beach. So that was fun riding out there and seeing the sun come up as we were getting ready to surf. And then it was kind of like a surf lesson, but I've done surf camping quite a few lessons, so I kind of just strayed away from the pack a little bit, and we're catching some waves a bit further out. And again, not crazy good waves, but caught a few nice ones, maybe waist high, and those ones really enjoyed that. And I was really trying to just take advantage of kind of the last opportunity to surf on the East Coast, because the more north you get, as I mentioned, I think in my previous video, you can't really get into the ocean so much with the stingers, as well as the saltwater crocs and all that dangerous fun stuff. But anyway, yeah, so Rainbow Beach for a few nights, did the surf, checked out the town, it's like 5 shops, and then left for Fraser Island. So again, part of a group. I think we had four 4x4s in the group that I was in. I was in car 3. Those that in car 3, you remember, it was a good time. But yeah, so we jump on the ferry, it's like a 10-minute ferry ride to get over to Fraser. And then I was the first one driving, so then we drove into the island for maybe an hour, stopped. And I was surprised there's actually like a shop there, so we got some ice cream and some snacks before we continue driving to our campsite, where we'd be staying for, I think it was 2 nights. Yeah, 2 nights out there. So while we were there, we also got to visit Lake McKenzie, which is inland on the island, really crystal clear, beautiful looking water. That was pretty sweet. So we had to swim there for about an hour. And I'm probably gonna be butchering my order of things. Again, it's so hard to remember with everything I've been doing. So outside of that, we got to check out the champagne pools, which is just kind of like these, kind of this rock ledge next to the sea. And it's a bit protected, so there's kind of 2 pools filled with seawater, which is really cool. And then when the sea's pumping a little bit, you'll get the foam splashing over it, hence the name Champagne Pools. So check that out for a bit, walk back to the car, and then I can't remember where we went next. I think this might be the following day, but we then did this kind of like a lazy river tubing, if you can even call that. The water was, you know, less than a foot in most places, so I didn't even get in the tube. I literally just walked down the river and then out to the sea, and then it started dumping rain, so I was kind of hiding in the car for a little bit, and then the sun came out for a good hour. We played some games just in the sand with the group that I was in. That was quite fun. And I may be missing something, but I think we went back to the campsite after that, called it a day for that first day. And I think that was it. Yeah, and then the day that we left, we went to visit another lake, did some more driving, more kind of inland into the, I guess, jungle-ness of it, which was quite cool and bumpy. But again, driving the 4x4s was probably the highlight of Gary. I thought that was so fun. I could have done that all day. Loved it. But of course, we had a car full of people that we all wanted to rotate and get turns in, which was, of course, totally fine and fun. And then the other part I forgot too was the sand blow, kind of on this big hill. There's this huge, it looks like a desert almost, but it's called a sand blow. So kind of in the name, I think the sand just comes off the sea and settles there and creates this huge field of sand. So we got some body boards and did some riding down there, and then just kind of watched the sunset. And I'll put some pictures of that as well. It was really cool looking. And I think that's it. You know, Gary was really fun. It was just a lot of again, for me, the most fun part was just doing the driving and doing the kind of the beach drive. We had one point where the tide was coming back in as we were racing back to the ferry, so we were literally like fully in the water. The guide would like radio us like, hey, wait for this wave to come up. It's gonna go, you know, it'll recede, and then we kind of have the green light to go. So I think I do a video of that, so I'll post that into this as well. But yeah, I think that was it. Gary was wicked fun. Love that. And then from there went up to Airlie Beach. That was the last overnight bus that I have on my East Coast. So it was like a 14.5-hour ride back from Rainbow up to Airlie. And then of course Airlie, we all know why, well maybe you don't, but the reason we go to Airlie is to do the Whitsundays, which is kind of this huge chain of islands. I think there's 72 islands. I could be wrong, it's 70 something. My mom would probably know. So I had one night in Airlie, and then it was onto the boat tour. And the boat that I was on was the Avatar. There's so many different boats you can charter. The kind of maybe more well-known would be the Atlantic Clipper. That one holds like 60 people, big party boat. And I even knew of that one before I came, but I didn't want to do that one, so I did a bit more of a chill boat on the Avatar. There was 26 of us plus 3 crew, and it was a trimaran, so you know, one big hull in the middle and then the 2 catamarans on the side, so it makes a trimaran. And then the beauty of that is they have like the huge canopies up top, so when the weather's nice, which it wasn't great for us, but you can kind of sit on those beddings up top and even sleep up there if it's warm enough at night. But the first day it rained, literally, it rained the entire time. I mean, I was just soaked, literally, for the first 8 hours that boat ride, and we had, you know, I think like 2-3, maybe 2 meter swells going out, so we were just bouncing around and getting wet, so it was kind of crazy, but also it was kind of fun doing that, just kind of like struggling with everybody through that, and everyone's kind of in the misery together, so that made it a bit more endurable. But yeah, so first thing we do on that, we got on the boat I think like 11:30, probably didn't leave the harbor till 12:30ish. And then we drive, like I said, through kind of those rough seas. We got a cool snorkel. There's this one big fish, and I can't remember the name, but he's always there. They named him, I think, George. I can't remember the name or the species though, but really quite big, and that was fun to snorkel. And then there's like an underwater manta ray sculpture that you can dive down a bit and see. So I did see that. That was sweet. I also saw jellyfish, and it hit me. I didn't feel anything, but I was like, oh man, did I get stung? Because then I asked one of the crew on the boat, I was like, hey, like which ones are the bad ones? And the way she explained it, I don't think it's the box jellyfish, but there's another kind of dangerous one that if it stings you, you won't even feel it. But what happens is you'll get stung, and then you kind of get this anxiety and then like kind of this impending panic, doom feeling. So it's really grim. I was like, okay, I'm gonna maybe jump out of the water since I touched that jellyfish, sit in the boat for a bit, and I didn't, but I was just chilling, hoping that anxiety wasn't gonna take over me. But yeah, we were all good, no issues. I didn't see any stings on my body, so I was obviously all good. And then we rode over to our anchoring point for the night, slept there. It was a bit rough at night, and more rain, of course, and we couldn't swim in the dark because where we were was the potential of sharks, so didn't want to swim there. We didn't see any, but we did see some small fish kind of swimming up under the boat and stuff, so that was cool. Day 2, then we got up pretty early, started breakfast at like 7:30, and then made a ride over to the main Whitsunday Island, which includes Whitehaven Beach, which if you Google Whitsundays, that will probably be the images that pop up. So with that, there's kind of 2 paths once you're on the island. You can jump up and do the lookout first, which is what I did. Again, I have some pictures of that I'll include. So that's just kind of the high point. You can overlook all kind of the Whitehaven Beach and surrounding area. And depending on what the tide's doing, if it's low, you'll have like those really pretty cool looking sand swirls. And by the time we were there, it was quite high, so it just looked like water and beaches, which was still really cool. The water was like crystal blue and just breathtakingly beautiful, so that was sweet. From there, I then went back on the trail down to the beach, had just a bit of a walk around, treaded through the shallow water for a bit, and then did some rock climbing. Not really rock climbing, but checked out some rocks that you had to climb over a bit, and just get some views over there, a bit of away from the crowds, because at that point the Clipper had just landed as well, so the beaches were packed with all the people from the boat. So I was just trying to find a bit of a secluded spot and relax and get a few pictures of that as well. And then after that we do have one more snorkel, but it was so windy this day, so the water was like really murky, and I actually smoked a piece of coral because I had no clue, I couldn't see it, and then I didn't mean to stand up, but I just put my foot down and like scraped it. So that hurt. So snorkeling 2, Andy 0, but again, still fun. I love being in the water. We get to jump off the back of the boat as well, threw some flips off that. I don't think I have any pictures of that, but that was really cool. And then that was it for the activities of day 2. And then finally the weather was like really nice. This was now the evening of day 2. So then we cruised to our last anchor spot for our last night on the water. And we got an amazing sunset. The captain was just trying to kind of like steer the boat so we could all see it out the side. So I was like riding on the front of the trimaran and just like filming the whole thing. And then I just like, screw it, I'm gonna put my phone down because this was just amazing. So I just like chilled on the front, had my legs hanging off, and was just like bouncing the waves and taking in the sweet view and the sweet sunset. And yeah, and then we anchored, and that was pretty much it. Had dinner, chilled, played some games and stuff. And then the next morning we were gone. We got up pretty early, and we were maybe like a 40-minute ride back to the harbor. So that wrapped up the Whitsunday boat tour. Amazing. It was so fun. I loved it. And that's really it. I think those were the 3 things I wanted to touch on in terms of what I had done after my latest video. Right now I am in Mission Beach. I'm here for 3 nights, so I'm getting close to Cairns. I got one more bus, and then it'll be the end of my East Coast while I'm in Cairns. But before I get too far ahead, I am on the eve of my skydive. So today was whitewater rafting, which was really fun. I've done that before. I loved it. So definitely jumped at the opportunity to do it out here as well. But the skydive is tomorrow. I can't wait. Feeling a bit nervy. I've done it once before. Absolutely loved it. I was on like an adrenaline high, I felt like, for like a week after. So I'm debating if I do the video package. Like I said, I have like footage from my previous skydive, but I would like to share, you know, this one with you guys as well, and include it in my next video. So I'll ponder that tonight and decide if I'm going to do that. But that's where we're at, here for a few more nights, and like I said, off to Cairns, and I will get a montage and a video up for kind of the remaining things between now and then. And then I do have some footage from things that maybe I missed or just slightly touched on. For example, the big thing would have been the Australia Zoo. I think I touched on that a little bit in a few videos ago. Maybe it was the last one, I don't remember, but I did film a lot there, and I don't think I include any of it in my most recent video. I'll have to double check, but if I didn't, I might just make like a separate video of everything that went down at the Australia Zoo. It was so fun. It was so cool seeing the alligator show. That's kind of the legendary thing, right, with Steve Irwin and living through that. So that was sweet. And I thought I had one more thing, but I can't remember, and it is not in my notes. So I think that'll be it for the explanation of my most recent weeks. I will edit the video, get some clips and some videos and some photos from the three things I just described. And yeah, I think that'll be it. So I will sign off from there. We'll catch you guys later. Like, subscribe, comment. Thanks for everybody for watching, and we'll see you soon. Feel it. No. Who the fuck is that? That's a lot of water. Go to. You got it? Yeah, go. Yep. Nice.